Hey, what's up? Marquez here, coming at you live at golden hour with a pretty sweet electric vehicle. You might have heard of it. It's the Lucid Air. Actually, you might not have heard of it. It's kind of rare at this point. But the Lucid Air, this is a funny one. I just put a main channel video out about this car because I think it's that interesting. But really the way I'm describing it is, this is a large four-door luxury sedan, an expensive four-door luxury sedan. But from the outside looking in, it kind of looks like the strategy for Lucid right now is to take what Tesla's doing and just one-up as many meaningful things about it as possible. And I actually think they've done a pretty good job at a lot of that. And I'm going to show you a little bit more in this more in-depth, detailed, casual style video because that's why I made this channel. But yeah, make sure you give a like on this video. Subscribe if you're new here, of course, if you want to see more videos like this in the style about these cars. Okay, let's jump in. First of all, the major specs, the Lucid Air. This is the Grand Touring Performance spec. It has 446 miles of range. Okay, there's a spec that's going to have over 500 miles of range. There's going to be a later rear-wheel drive only spec, but this is dual motors, all-wheel drive, and a true honest 400 plus miles of range. That is really impressive. Then there's 350 kilowatt charging. That is super impressive. Then there is the super low drag coefficient, the efficiency, the smaller motors. Everything that this car does right is right in your face. I have my thoughts on the aesthetic, which we'll get to in a second, but just from a baseline, they've done faster charging and more range than Tesla. You still have to deal with the public charging network. There is no Lucid charging network. This is like, if you get lucky and find an Electrify America charger, you can get incredible charging speeds. But that's getting lucky. So I've lived with this roughly $150,000, $160,000 car now for about a week, and I like a lot of things about it. Let me start on the inside though, because I think that's really where most people are concerned about this car, which is the luxury part of it. And that's where I think it actually beats Tesla by quite a handy margin. If it knows I'm next to the car, it'll open. There you go. We can get inside. So getting inside is pretty easy, and immediately you're surrounded by, well, you have a real steering wheel, but you have Alcantara over here. You have some leather here. It smells like leather, and it's got a lot of nice material choices throughout. These seats are really nice, and I'll get to those in a second. But this is one of those cars where you'd be happy to drive it or to be driven in it, because these back seats are also very nice. Matter of fact, let me show you that. So to get to the back seat, I'm gonna open the door with this electronic door latch. Really nice handle there. I like that a lot. But I'm gonna get in the back seat. Now, the reason this is such a nice back seat is because they've gone with not a hatchback style, but just a regular trunk. That's a big difference from the Model S sedan. Oh, it's gonna lock me out. Keys in my pocket. Here's the key, by the way. Double tap here to get in. And this is way more legroom than a Model S. This is a 6'3" driving position, and I've got plenty of space here. Closing it behind you. And this is also very luxury. Here's the switch to bring up. When you see these shades, I mean, that's when you know. That's when you're in for it good. So you've got HVAC controls back here that are really nice. There's one underneath the seat here for the footwell. That's really nice. You've got a screen here for a heated seat, and these heat really fast, I noticed. I'm a very big fan of these heated seats, and the climate controls, plus a little storage back here. Like, this is a nice back seat. Here's the armrest. 2 cup holders, a little bit more storage, no wireless charger, but I'm okay with that. And then access to the trunk. Didn't know that was gonna be there, but that's your pass through without putting the seats down to get straight into the trunk. And then these are just nice leather stitched seats with really good material. I'm a fan of the backseat experience, but that's not why I get this car. So let me show you what they did. They gave you all that backseat space in the same amount of basically space between the wheels as a Tesla Model S. And they did that by cutting into the trunk a little bit. And they went, okay, we'll still give you a trunk, but it's gonna be a little bit smaller and a little bit less hatchbacky, well, less hatchbacky than a normal Model S trunk. So it is a good amount of space in here, as you can see. Space up in front behind the seat, and sub-trunk space that you can fit a lot of stuff in, but this opening right here is small. This opening right here. So you technically have a lot of room to like put a lot of stuff in this trunk if you want to, but just, this is such a weird trunk opening. I've never seen a trunk opening like this before. And not large items, not a lot of large things going in the trunk. But that'll actually get me to the front trunk, because the front trunk is really nice on this. So here's how you get into the front trunk. You long press on the key and it opens. It's a power opening front trunk, big wide space, and a ton of front trunk space. Here is the sub trunk down below there. That is massive. That is massive. And so this is, because it's powered and actually super readily accessible, I feel like people are gonna wanna use this front trunk all the time. And I actually do think I will wanna use the front trunk all the time. So because they've made those motors tiny, because they've made their parts really efficient, kind of a small trunk, huge front trunk, lots of rear legroom. Actually, they've even put, in terms of buttons inside the car, that's the front trunk button. They don't even have a trunk button up here, just the front trunk. So I'm gonna be tempted to use that a lot. Okay, back into the car. I wanna talk about owning and driving this thing. So as long as I'm keeping the Tesla comparison going, they've won the luxury and materials game. They also have an incredible sound system in here. I was listening to some Tidal hi-fi tracks and some Dolby Atmos stuff in here. 21 speakers are surrounding me. The instrumentals have this crazy separation and wide soundstage. It's amazing. And also, it's just quieter in here. Just great sealed windows, framed windows, nice ceiling overall. Driving and sitting still, it's very quiet in here. But the one thing that I would still give the advantage to is Tesla has better software. Now, this is the 2.0 version of the software that Lucid's built, and it is much better than the previous. So basically, you've got a huge screen up here. This is not touchscreen. And then you've got another touchscreen over on the left-hand side. And I like this screen here. This does a lot of cool things. First of all, you can long press or swipe up, and it gives you some hidden storage behind the motorized screen. That's cool to see. And there's a bunch of other storage in the center console. This can move around. It's kind of nice. I don't mind that. You can close it. You've got some dry wood. Overall, well done. But then I get this screen back, and I just want to show you a couple quirks about the UI here. So first of all, you've got these three modes: smooth mode, swift mode, which is a little bit of a sportier drive, and then sprint, which asks for a confirmation every single time to use maximum power and torque. Probably don't need that, but okay. These are three different modes that basically bundle together a bunch of different things about the car: the suspension softness, the steering weight, how low the car is, how firm things are, how sporty everything feels. It's just bundled into 3 buttons. Super convenient, really nice. If you have a passenger, you just put it in smooth mode, guaranteed fine every time. And then if you want to go to sprint, hit sprint, confirm. But if there's a little bit more granularity that you want, maybe you want swift acceleration, but still soft damping for the suspension, you can't unpair any of that stuff. I would really like to see that in a car that's expensive. And then I'm also very annoyed by the fact that every time I get in the car, it's in smooth mode. Every single time. It doesn't stay in swift mode. If I start it in swift mode, it doesn't stay in sprint mode. Every time you get in the car, it will be in smooth mode. And I was annoyed by that. And then here's one more thing for you. It's kind of got this cool continuity thing going on. So if I open maps, for example, it's faster than it was before, but there you go. You've got this swipe down to bring up the map down here as well. Now, if I open music, the music shows up here. And then if I swipe down here, that shows up with the music as well. It's actually got this sort of a continuity thing going on. So if I pull that up, it pulls it up. And if I pull this down, it's almost like they're connected, which is like really cool at first. But that also means that I can't have maps up here and music down here, or music up here and maps down here. They always, it's just paired together. I would like to be able to, I haven't found a way to be able to do this yet, but I'd like to be able to separate those two. But anyway, this is a luxurious car, you can tell, because there's about 750 million different ways to adjust thigh support. Like these are incredibly adjustable seats, but then also they are massage seats. So if you want to run a quick massage, it will actually do that for you. I almost never use massage seats in cars, but you can kind of tell when you see a couple things like the window shades, when you see the HVAC controls in the back on the side, when you see massage seats, all of those things are pretty good cues of a luxury feel or an intent for luxury feel in a car. So this is nice. And shout out to the buttons right here. This is a volume switch or roller, just for the volume knob. But then this is also just temperature up and down and fan speed up and down for HVAC. Very simple, things I'm going to adjust often, not on the touchscreen. The one thing that they did to copy Tesla on the touchscreen is the glove box button. I don't know why they did that. They could have put it up here with the hazard lights. They just put lights and hazards up here. But yeah, there's a glove box button to open this. Probably the cheapest feeling part of the car, the glove box. Fine, fine. But I think this is one of the more interesting cars of the past few years. I did initially get to see it in its prototype form, and it had this crazy like executive back seat. You could tell they were focusing on the luxury experience at the expense of some other parts of the car, and I think they succeeded, and it's really luxurious on the inside. My hot take, though, is that it's ugly. Yeah, it's ugly. This is an ugly car. It's weird. I've seen some other comments on the internet of people saying, damn, Lucids look nice. And I've had some people come up and like ask about the car, like that looks nice. And I kind of agree with some of it and disagree. So the aero caps on the wheels, I think they look okay, but I think the overall shape does still scream luxury, and they've got this two-tone thing going on. This is what Maybach did. They've really made the two-tone an obvious symbol of luxury. You've got this nice Air Grand Touring badge on the back. It looks like a luxury car, but I don't like this shape at all. This right here, to me, not that good looking. And so you combine that, you can stealth this out. This is a $6,000 option. If you take that away, it'll be black. But it's always gonna be this shape. I will say, I did look at the Sapphire version, which is gonna ship in 2023, which is the triple motor plaid killer with like faster acceleration and carbon ceramic brakes and all that. That one's got black wheels, no aero caps, and the stealth, so it doesn't look two-tone. That one looks a lot better to me. But yeah, Andrew said from the front, it looks kind of like a whale shark. And I think because of this huge visor, I kind of agree. It's a nice little squat, low, wide-looking car, and that's kind of like a whale shark's face. It does have some pretty sweet lights. At night, you can see the light show when you come up to the car, when you turn it on, when you turn it off. And I do actually really like these air vents here. These are functional pockets of air that actually come through up above the headlights. So these are some pretty high-tech headlights to give you a really nice beam and actually take air in and cool the brakes and all that coming through here. That's some more functional aero. And then that's your daytime running light and blinker. So I like the lights. And up at the front here is some radar and some cameras. Good stuff. But I'll just leave you with this. Having lived with the car now for a week or so, electric cars are getting really interesting. The fact that this car beats the flagships in so many other things is really impressive. It does it at the expense of a trunk and at the expense of the cost. It's very expensive. The Sapphire version, which will be faster than the Plaid and have a carbon ceramic brakes and all that, is $250,000. So yeah, you can beat the big dogs, but it'll be very expensive. But yeah, everyone's got to make a different decision for their first electric car. This one for Lucid is ultra luxury sedan. I think next they're going to do an SUV, and then we'll see if they get around to the cheaper stuff later. But for now, Lucid's proving you can just put a lot of money into the electricity and R&D and make a nice car. It's a nice car. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more. Catch you in the next one. Peace.